Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News Today starts now.
Police make an arrest after a 4-year-old girl is shot on Detroit's west side. And this morning, we're checking on how she's doing.
And there's a new nominee for the Supreme Court. President Trump has named Judge Amy Coney Barrett to fill the vacant seat left after the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What politicians on both sides are saying about his pick.
And taking a look outside, it may be the first weekend of fall, but we are seeing the final days of summer right now. Andrew has your full forecast. Good morning at 7 o'clock. I'm Priya Mann.
And I'm Grant Herms. Thanks for joining us here on Local 4 News Today. Yeah, it definitely does not feel like the first weekend of fall out there.
No, absolutely not. You know, this whole summer, I mean, we're all dealing with, of course, lockdown and quarantining, but I've just been spending a lot of time on my patio, just soaking up the sun. I feel like I'm a cat now.
Sounds good. Hey, we can continue soaking up the warm conditions as we go through the day today. And yes, fall began last week, but summer is still holding on. We're looking at temperatures yesterday that made it into the low 80s. Today, maybe not near 80 degrees or more because of all the cloud cover, but it still gets warmer than average. We have a nice, healthy southwesterly wind that it's blowing. And so we're looking at 72 degrees by noon, middle and upper 70s as we get toward 4 o'clock, and then low 70s later this evening. Now, we will see a buildup in clouds. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a sprinkle or two before the day is done, but don't worry. The day remains dry. We're looking at 63 degrees currently with partly to mostly cloudy skies overhead, 65 for our friends over in Lapeer, 60s all the way up, cool and nice feeling over in Sandusky with 64 degrees, 63 over in Monroe. There are some of those sprinkles and light showers occurring someplace else, not here in southeast Michigan, up toward Ludington and Traverse City, and farther to the west out toward Minnesota and Iowa. That is on the way for this evening, but especially tonight and Monday. And temperatures take a drop. How big of a drop? More on that in your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Andrew. A 4-year-old girl is shot on Detroit's west side. This morning, the suspected shooter is in custody. The shooting happened in the area of Bellaterra Avenue and Burlingham Street near the intersection of Livernois and Grand River. Police say a 4-year-old and a 22-year-old man were shot. Both were rushed to the hospital and are listed in serious condition. Police spent hours last night looking for clues into what happened. A short time later, one person was arrested. The investigation is still ongoing.
And a barricaded situation in Plymouth has ended. Police and fire crews were on scene last night at a condo complex on Pinewood Circle near Ann Arbor Trail and Lilly. It's unclear how the situation started, but police tell us it's now under control. Well, President Trump has named his choice to fill Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the Supreme Court.
The selection of Judge Amy Coney Barrett promises to move the high court firmly to the right. The mother of 7 is a devout Catholic, a former Notre Dame law professor and clerk to the late Justice Antonin Scalia. At 48, she'd be the high court's youngest justice, and she could be seated in time to hear a case seeking to overturn the Affordable Care Act and any disputes that might arise from this year's presidential election.
And Joe Biden responded to the nomination, saying in part, President Trump has been trying to throw out the Affordable Care Act for 4 years. Even now, in the midst of a global health pandemic, the Trump administration is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the entire law. Today, President Trump has nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett as the successor to Justice Ginsburg's seat. She has a written track record of disagreeing with the U.S. Supreme Court's decision upholding the Affordable Care Act. She critiqued Chief Justice John Roberts' majority opinion upholding the law in 2012. And this coming week brings the first presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden on Tuesday night at 9. The debate will take place at Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland. Host Chris Wallace has chosen 6 topics, including the Supreme Court, COVID, and the integrity of the election. 15 minutes will be spent on each topic.
And I'll be fact-checking the debates with the help of our team at clickondetroit.com. That'll be live again Tuesday night. We'll be running a lot of their claims through our trust index to make sure we're keeping both candidates honest and to give you, the voters, a clearer picture of each candidate. You can watch that debate again on Local 4 at 9 o'clock. And while watching, you can follow that fact-check on clickondetroit.com.
And speaking of debates, join Devin Skillian this morning for a live flashpoint. The 2 candidates in the race for Michigan's 8th congressional district, Democrat Alyssa Slotkin and Republican Paul Young, go face-to-face. That's this morning at 10.
Heavy hearts at the Troy Police Department this morning as officers mourn the death of one of their own. Dispatcher Curtis Reynolds was getting ready for a shift on his 50th birthday when he suffered a heart attack. He died a few days later in the hospital. Members of his team say Reynolds, a 29-year veteran, was the heart of their tight-knit team and an unsung hero.
I just want to be like her. You know, if I can in any way be as selfless as he was and help out my coworkers like he did, I want to do it.
And Kurt leaves behind 3 kids and his family. There's also a GoFundMe set up. We've got a link to that on clickondetroit.com.
Now to the latest with the coronavirus here in Michigan. The state is reporting another 15 lives lost to the virus, bringing the total to more than 6,700. 11 of those deaths were identified during a vital records review. There are 901 new cases of the virus in the past 24 hours. And on a brighter note, more than 95,000 people have recovered in total across Michigan. Still some good news there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Much more to come on Local 4 News today, but first let's check in with Andrew Humphrey, and you've got a lot of good news for us this weekend.
Oh, that's right. Let the warm weather continue, right? Mother Nature is certainly helping us out. We're looking at temperatures today that rise above average and raindrops all someplace else, not here in southeast Michigan. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods, though. We do have some rain on the way and lower temperatures after today. More on that in your 7-day forecast on the way.